Three, two, one.
Woo!
Whoa. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Jude Hoover, and that guy right over there is Josh Weidman. He is on the road today for reasons that we're going to get into here in just a second. I'm a realtor and a real estate investor, and Josh is a hard money lender and a real estate investor. And we do a show here called the Build and Grow as Real Estate Show, geared towards people who are making money directly or indirectly from real estate. Maybe you are a hard money lender, maybe you're a realtor, maybe you work for a bank, maybe you're a title company, maybe you're a buy, fix, and sell guy, maybe you're a landlord, or anything like that. This is the show for you. Josh and I have both been feeding our families with real estate for about the past 20 years, and we absolutely love it. I am steering the show and producing the show today, so please bear with us just a little bit. I am not nearly as good at this as what Josh is, and we will talk about why Josh is not on the show here in just a second, because we got some exciting stuff. We've been talking about this deal for a little bit, and today we're going to dig into it a little bit more.
Well, and what's funny here is we use this deal as an evaluation tool. When we went over how to evaluate rental properties or fix and flip properties and stuff like that. And at the time, I don't think either one of us even thought about this as a deal, and as things, sometimes progress, we end up making some ridiculous offers, getting a ridiculous acceptance. And 2 weeks ago today, we closed on this property, and so it's great. This is a 3,000 square foot house, rancher. How about that? With no basement. With
3,000 square foot rancher on a slab.
On a slab in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. And right now we're in the midst of renovating it. We're going to turn it into. Right now it's a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath house. We're going to be converting it, or in the process of converting it, to a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a office, and a lot of awesome space. So that's what we're talking about today.
And what I love about this deal so much is, we talked about it. And we were like, hey, this is how you look for deals on the MLS. And we came across this deal. And we're like, hey, this could be a deal. This is what you're looking for. And then we talked about it and ran the numbers. And we said, here's how you would analyze a property like this. And this is what the numbers would have to be in order for it to be a deal. And Josh went out and offered that. And unfortunately, didn't get accepted. And so then we talked about creative financing and how you can give the seller what they want, but also get what you want. And we're not going to get sidetracked with that right now, because what we're now looking at is how to actually do a rehab and what actually happens. And so what we're going to be doing on this show from time to time is walking this. I mean, I don't know that we're going to spend $100,000, but it's going to be close. Like, we're not spending $20,000. Let's put it that way.
We've already spent $20,000.
Right.
And when we walk through the house, you're going to know that, my goodness, it's not even
so
close.
This is a major rehab that we're going to be going through and talking about on the show, and you guys get to come along with us. And what's so funny is I was just shooting a video for a course that I'm working on. And one of the things that I did is I told people your first 30 days in real estate investing, make 10 offers, even if they're ridiculous, even if they get turned down, even if they say no. You're already not going to buy the house. So you might as well make an offer and make it official that you're not going to buy the house. And that's kind of the exercise Josh and I went through with this offer. Is we're writing it up and we're like, well, it's got to look like this, and it's got to have this contingency, and it's got to have that contingency. Let's write it up and see what happens. And lo and behold, we were able to structure a deal that everybody is happy with. So Josh, tell us a little bit more about the deal itself.
Sure. So this is.
We're not getting into numbers here today, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to lose you on that. But just in concept.
So let's talk about, first of all, I think it's really interesting anytime you're looking at where a lead's coming from, people ask all the time, like, where do you get your deals from? Where do you get your leads from? Or, I like to look at the profile of a seller, whether I'm buying on the MLS or I'm buying it privately. It's fun. I mean, honestly, I think it's fun to sit down and have a conversation with the seller, either at settlement or beforehand, and get an idea of what brought them to this point. Because this house was a mess, right? I mean,
Right.
like, there's so many things that we're gonna highlight as we walk through, but the house was a mess, and he was asking an exorbitant amount. I think this house went on the market for like $225, and when they first listed, there was no comparables. I think comparables were like 250 maybe, and there was nothing that would justify the asking price, and it just sat there. It sat there in the hottest market we've ever had in the history of real estate, for 18 months, something like that.
Right.
And so in this specific instance, here's what happened. I was, in first looking at this house, I thought the guy had it was a rental property. He had it rented out, and the tenant left, and there was some, expense where he said, I'm not going to spend any more money on this house. Let's just sell. That was my first inclination. Well, I was talking with the seller's son at settlement. The real demographic here and the real story behind this house is that this guy lived here with his wife and raised their 3 kids. Kids got older. One of the kids had special needs, and his wife passed away. And as so many times happens in life, like, we have these life-altering events. It might be a death, it might be a job loss, it might be moving.
It could be good things too.
Right,
it could be,
right.
yeah, it could, you could meet your dream girl who says, I want to do crazy things to you if you can move to Toledo tomorrow. That's going to motivate somebody. There are amazingly good things and amazingly bad things that can motivate somebody.
That's exactly right. In this case, there was the son who had some learning disabilities and special needs started to become violent. And so that triggered hey, I can't do this alone. And I'm overcome with the loss of my wife. And so they moved to Lancaster and put the house on the market. In addition to that, we had a situation where you got this gigantic house and it's got a radiant heat flooring. And the radiant heat flooring seems like a great idea. Now, initially I thought, hey, we're going to have to put ductwork in, or put an air handler in and put AC in. Not a big deal. But the more I dug in, the more I found that, one of the reasons for this sale is that the radiant flooring in the slab that just happens to be 1.5 foot deep, is no longer working in some areas of the house. And so the owner knew that. He made some Sanford and Son type repairs.
Right.
If you've ever seen that, and they weren't bad for a short period of time, but they didn't really fix the problem. And so removing that element from the house is a big part of what we're doing right now, is changing over the heating source and doing some other stuff. But without further ado, why don't we pull up the slides and take a look at the property, on what it looked like prior to our purchase, and then we'll do a walkthrough of the building and kind of take a look at where we're at now and get an idea. And so you've seen these photos before on the show. This is the exterior of the property, and when we bought it initially, I'm thinking, hey, look, it doesn't look too bad on the outside. There's some overgrown weeds and landscaping and things. But there's this cool wall and nice patio and these big pillars out front. As the project has progressed, we decided to take down the walls, take down the pillars and stone, big stone structures in the front, and clean up the outside. But that's secondarily. If we keep going, go to the next slide here, Judah, if you would. All right, this is the back of the house. I think the next slide is a little bit different of an angle. Can you take a look at that? Nah, yeah, let's go back one. All right. So if you see the double doors in the back of the house, that's leading at some point, either the prior owner or the one before that or whatever, built a knee wall running across a back patio, put a roof on it, and enclosed it as a finished space.
I can see that.
Right. So that
Yeah, that
finished
right there is
space,
the knee wall.
it was a total nightmare. It was a total nightmare. They tried to level the floor and run radiant heating into that area. Didn't do it very well. It was a mess. There's a leak in the back roof that's causing some problems. And so there was a lot that was going on in that back room space, but it's 600 square feet of finished space that I certainly didn't want to throw out, right? So what we ended up doing is ripping out the back wall, and with plans that starting tomorrow, we're going to be reframing the whole back of the house. It's not a load-bearing wall, thank goodness. The way they structured the roof, there's some pillars on the inside that are keeping up that roof, so we can rip out the whole wall without causing any structural issues with the property. Excuse me. Another big thing in the back of the house, this shed, that big red looking building off of the back of the property, it's probably one of the biggest eyesores on the building or on the lot itself.
On the ground, on the property,
right.
Yep.
But the inside of this place, I mean, it looks like it's about to fall down until you go inside. The inside of this place, it's actually my favorite part of the building because it's about 1,200 square feet with electric and with a heating source. So I thought, man, that's really nice. And getting on the inside, it's built with telephone poles as the corner posts with all kinds of crazy structure. So this thing looks ugly, but man, it's a real asset when it comes to the building itself.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at that. Let's jump inside. Whoops. Let's jump inside the property if we can.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the kitchen. This kitchen area is humongous. And unfortunately, cabinets aren't really up to date, but the space is huge. We've got a 13 by 16 and a half kitchen planned for this space that is going to take full advantage of this large room, which we'll go over. Let's go to the next one, Judah, if we can. This is part of the entryway. When you walk into the property, there's an archway into what I'm guessing when it was built was used as an office with this, this pine, the pine paneling on the walls.
Yeah, and then knotty pine. There's a lot of knotty pine here.
Well, and the knotty pine, they use the good stuff on these walls. This is 1.5 inch pine. Didn't know it until we ripped it out, but man, it is so darn thick, and it came out. This is going to be a bonus room. Right now, we're using this as a garage. You got the same knotty pine walls. There's a half bath in here, but this is going to be converted to a family room. We're going to close in that garage door.
Oh, this is where they you can see that they bought every tile under the sun to put down here.
Right, every leftover tile went on this floor.
Right.
But we demoed this area. We've got a cinder block, garage now that's going to be framed. This is the inside of that back finished space, and you can see
right. So these are the posts that hold this up, and this is that knee wall that you were talking about from the outside. Right. We were looking at. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They had a drop ceiling in here. All of the electric is kind of jury rigged. So, there's a lot of work that has to be done on the mechanicals on this place. But the nice thing about the electric in this house is that when the last owner spent $50,000 to install solar panels and to set up a system that pulls that energy and then feeds it to the meter. And they've got an agreement they set up an agreement with the electric company. Any excess electric that's produced,
they sell back to the grid.
They sell back to the grid. Exactly. So, the idea here is we're going to keep a lot of that green technology in the building. The wiring in the house, thank goodness, this place was built after the advent of ground wires. It was a 1950s house, and sometimes this time frame is kind of a crapshoot where you end up getting the old Romex with no ground wire. or you get a grounded wire. And this house is completely grounded, which was a surprise, but it's a good surprise, which is a good thing. And I mean, this is our living room area, which we opened up. The bathroom here, yeah, we opened the bathroom area is really interesting. You know, I think the first time we talked about this, Judah, I think we looked at this and said, "Oh, they put a fisheye camera on here to make this look bigger."
Right.
Believe it or not, this bathroom is gigantic. I mean,
really?
13 feet wide by 14 feet deep.
Wow.
And so what we're doing here is we're converting this from one bathroom to two, so that you know, because we're in a slab, we only want to open up the floor in areas that we have to, and so we're keeping all
places
the plumbing.
as possible.
That's exactly right. We're going to keep the plumbing in the same location. In fact, today they're going to be tearing up the concrete floor. The demo is we're on our final day of demo here. The crew is still working, so we'll see them in just a minute here. This is one of the bedrooms. The bedrooms are gigantic, 16.5 feet wide by 18 feet long on all the bedrooms. This is another picture of the back. And then here's our finished layout. And if you look at this thing, you walk in the front door.
So right here in the middle, I see where you're talking about having those two bathrooms.
That's right.
So that one is more like company, and then one is a little bit more private. I get it.
That's exactly right. Yep. And the way we have this set up is that the back addition area is going to be converted from an open patio to two bedrooms and a walk-in closet.
I see that. Right? That's great.
Okay, so what we end up with is 4 bedrooms, and if you go down the hallway past the bathrooms, that next little room there is an office space.
Yeah, it's a study, but you could, you know, that counts as a 5th bedroom. You're taking a 3-bedroom house and turning it into a 5-bedroom house. Is what you're doing here.
There's no egress. That's
I gotcha.
Right. So there's no if you're not familiar with egress is a law that requires the ability for, in the case of fire or whatever, a certain number of square footage and openings for people to get out of. Whether, you know, there's a fire, the kids got to get out. It's a window that opens large enough for somebody to get out of. So yeah, I mean, this is the layout. On the right hand side, you can see the conversion from the garage to that family room area, and then this living room and kitchen area were 2 rooms. We took down the wall in between the 2 rooms, and now we've got this gigantic space that is 38 feet deep by 16.5 feet wide. I mean, it's a real great room.
So my only question is this: in the half bath that we have here in the garage, and then we got to start walking this house. In this half bath here in the garage, what are these 2 tanks? Are these 2? Is this water softener? Is this water heater? Or is that where that's not where the laundry is?
Okay, so the way that this was set up here is that there's 2 different types of solar heating or solar energy being collected on this house. Because we had radiant heating, when they installed the photovoltaic cells on the roof, they also installed plumbing lines. So what ends up happening is water from the hot water heater circulates through these tubes on the roof that absorb the heat and raise the temperature. And then these 2 hot water heaters are now tied into the radiant heating in the property. We're going to be keeping the heaters, the hot water heaters, and the solar hot water heating, but we're going to just use it for hot water instead of using it to feed that. So all right, let me turn off my car here and let's walk through this and take a look at what the place looks like. Whoops. All right, so I'm getting out of the car here and let's walk in.
Yeah, we're gonna make you big and me little, Josh.
Oh man, I love it. Okay, all right. So first of all, this is a second dumpster. Pulled a lot of stuff out of this house. The first thing that you'll notice here as we walk up is we took out these 2 big pillars sitting on the front here. they were crumbling. There was a lot of brickwork, and it just wasn't going to work. So we ended up ripping them out. You can see we've got electric lines out here, and this is going to end up being a lamppost and something else. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to end up doing here, but as we walk up to the you can see that we also took down two large walls, two large walls that were sitting here right on the edge of the concrete. There's wiring coming out here on both sides from the inside of the house. And what we're going to end up doing in this space is putting up a privacy fence, something that will allow light to come in and create a little bit of privacy on this nice patio area. It's pretty big. One of my favorite parts of the house are these huge windows in the front of the family room or the living room here.
Sure.
All right.
You're going to get a lot of natural sunlight that way too, which is going to help with your heating bills.
Well, exactly. All right. So now as we walk in the house here, remember we talked about all of that knotty pine paneling?
Yeah.
Well, this whole room was knotty pine. All of this was, was knotty pine, and I'm guessing that this was used as an office or a study or something like that. And we're going to be closing up this archway that you can see here, so that your entryway is just going to be this area right here. The idea here is we're going to put down tile in the entryway and continue this hallway toward the back. And that window that we're looking at right now is going to become a doorway. It's going to be cut out, and it'll be a doorway to the back bedroom.
Gotcha.
All right, so this is our grand living room area. You see here, we've got these 5 huge windows in the front here. We've got a nice fireplace that is going to need some attention, but is in really good shape. And, we took down all the paneling out here, and now here's our beautiful kitchen.
Right.
So what we have is we've got essentially 36 feet of living space, all in one open living environment, which is really, really a nice thing. People love this, the open floor plan, but I've lived in properties with open floor plans before, and the biggest problem is that you don't have privacy, and a lot of times it gets so loud, right?
Right.
So what I like so much about this place is that all of your private living space is on the other end of the hall. And so we'll go down there in a minute here, but let's go into the garage area. We took down the knotty pine in here as well. This bathroom's being demoed today simply because we needed to have a small space of privacy.
Right.
While people are working here, but this will be out today. Here's the old heater and the radiant heat. And you can see this red PEX line that's kind of snaked here. We circumvented some of the plumbing. I'm not going to get into a ton of detail, but if you look here, you can see that you've got 3 different zones where you have 2 of them are pipes actually going into the slab right here. And then one of them was this red PEX line that followed up into the attic space and then came back down into the house, right in the middle of the house, and then kind of branched out throughout all the bedrooms. It was a mess, and I'll show you some of that. In the living room, I think you saw all of these PEX line. I mean, we pulled up so many doggone floors in here, and threw out so much of this PEX line. It's insane. I mean,
oh my gosh, that's a lot of PEX line there. My goodness. Yeah, Josh, everybody, while you're walking around the house, let me just say that we're getting tons of comments here on how much progress you're making so quick. I know you can't see the comments, but I'm following the comments here as we go through this. Lots of people talking about how great work you're doing, and that's ultimately one of the things that I know you've learned and I've learned from doing a bunch of these houses over the years is don't wait. As soon as you take title, get the guys in there the very next day. I know we were talking about at one point closing on this house on Friday and getting the guys started on that Saturday. And unfortunately, we had to push to Monday, which meant that the guys were still there and started on Tuesday.
Well, and the thing is, though, that small delay ended up costing us 5 days,
Right.
which doesn't seem like much, but you and I both know that ultimately here, 5 days, if it stays at 5 days, it's no big deal. But if we got a 10-day buffer on a 90-day project, that's not much time. It's a big deal.
Right, because it's 2 or 3 day delay here, 2 or 3 day delay there. Like, they all add up.
That's right. So these windows in the back, until we have the back wall framed, they're going to remain in place. But they're coming. All of this is coming out. It's going to be a solid wall. This area will be closed up. And as we go in here, I mean, these bedrooms are ridiculous. Like, they're ridiculous. If I go back here, the light in here is great, but I don't know if you can get an idea of a concept of the size of this room.
No, it's definitely coming through, and you can definitely see how big that is, my friend.
Well, and the thing is, if the door was in a different location, this could easily be 2 bedrooms,
Right.
without much trouble at all. That's the one front bedroom. Here's the second one, and this is exactly the same size. And these bedrooms look pretty rough right now, but we're going to put a ceiling light in, skim coat and paint the walls, replace the windows, put in new interior doors, and then shelving and things in the closets, and it's ready to go. These are solid wood doors. I'm not going to end up keeping them for for this space. We'll end up doing a single panel door, maybe a double panel door. But all right, this is a great cross section here. So this is what the owner of the property did, and as you see here, some of this stuff actually goes from room to room under the walls. He just drilled right through the spill pipe under the wall and fed the line right through to the next bedroom. This is going to be a bear to get out, but it is what it is.
Right.
All right, now we go back to the back here, and as you can see, that almost all of that stone wall is gone all the way to the end, and we have this clean open space, 640 square feet worth of living space here that's going to be studded out and really be something else. I mean, it's going to end up, so if I'm standing right now in the master bedroom, if we walk in here, the bedroom extends to the second post here, and then there is a 9-foot by 14-foot walk-in closet that we're going to be putting built-ins into, and this right-hand window right here is going to become a door. So this is going to extend down, and you'll go right into the master bath from that.
Yeah,
side.
I got to tell you, Josh, this is crazy. Taz just said that he didn't expect that. I didn't expect that either. When you said that they were removing that wall, I was anticipating above the knee wall coming out. I did not even expect that. They've really done demo on this place. My goodness.
Well, so originally our plan was just to remove the top section. And I think that aesthetically, this knee wall would have looked really cool, extended all the way across the back. But what we ran into is that this the wall was put onto a smooth concrete base, and so and without any anchors. And you know what? Right. So if you're outside and you got a wall sitting out here and it's an outside space, there's really not much that's going to move that thing. But when I'm, when we're building something, we want to make sure that there's a good anchor, that there's not going to be any kind of water infiltration or anything like that. And so we ended up deciding that, hey, look, it's just better to rip this whole thing out. In fact, right here, there was a built-in like outdoor kitchen. It was not in great shape and it wasn't very nice, but it let a lot of water come in and a lot of other stuff. It was ended up costing a lot more to do this the right way than than to just rip it down and do it correct and make sure that it was going to be functional moving forward here.
No, so, I totally get that.
Yeah. But I mean, you back out here, this lot is about a half an acre. It's 0.49 or 0.48 acres. One of the cool things that we discovered, Judah and I both, is that when this this property is actually 3 lots. It's built
3
on
separate parcels. Yeah.
parcels. And I said, I don't know, I said to you, Judah, like, when we got the title report back and that came out, I'm thinking to myself, you know what we ought to do? We ought to just tear the darn house down and we'll build 3 houses right next to each other. You know, and then, hey, not on this one, not this time, but
that's the type of opportunity you're always looking for. All right, Josh, we're at the 30-minute mark. Are we able to get inside and see this man cave that you're going to build for yourself?
Yeah. All right, it's already built. I'm walking in the back here, and what we have, we've got tools and some things that we pulled out of the inside that seem to have some kind of value, or I mean, I got a box full of balls that my kids are going to end up inheriting.
Nice.
But one of the really cool things that came with this house is I didn't even count how many, but I got a ton of this concrete siding that I'm going to end up using for the exterior of of that addition space. These are $17 a piece, and they came with the house. I'll take them.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I really like.
Turn around and let me see that. Turn around and let me see that stove. Was that a wood stove, or what is that?
This is it burns anything stove. It's called a corn cob stove. So this is, you can see here, I pulled out a lot of the junk lumber that was used for the subfloor here that I'm going to be using to heat this thing. I haven't even tested this yet because I don't have a fire extinguisher on me, and I keep forgetting to buy one. I'm not going to, rock this thing out until I can know that I can put the fire out if there's a problem. But one thing I wanted to note here, Judah, real quick, you can see I've got some supplies that are sitting in here. Hitting up auction sites to get discounts on, big ticket items. I don't know if you've priced out lumber recently.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's insane. I picked up a skid of 2x8s for $5 a piece. I picked up a door that we're going to use in the living room as like a barn door. Time out. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. I mean this sincerely because it could go either way. You picked up 2x8s for $5 a piece or $5 a skid? No. 2x6.
2x6.
I said 2x8, but for $5 a piece.
Right.
For each 2x. Yeah. I mean, even with that being said, right now lumber is so ridiculous.
Oh, it's like $7 or $8.
Yeah, I know. Flooring, we're going to be putting in this engineered hardwood in the living room and dining room and in the hallways. This was $1.25 a square foot. Comparable products are about $4 a square foot. So, I mean, there's 1,000 square feet of flooring that, I saved $2,700 on just by buying in bulk, and a lot of these auctions, you got to know what you're bidding on. And very funny story here is I thought this was trim. So I have $400 of knotty pine here that I bought for no apparent reason. So it is what it is.
You win some, you lose some. You'll find somebody to offload it to.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, that's pretty much it here. That's all I got for the moment. On this house, we're there we go. How do I get out of here? Okay. So, I mean, that's it for today's walkthrough. We're beginning tomorrow. We're going to begin framing. And from there, once the framing's done, we'll jump in with the electric and the plumbing and the heating and air conditioning. I'm going to have Taz Journey out to give me his 2 cents and hopefully help me with this, this HVAC project. And we've got a lot of other of our followers that are going to be working here over the next couple of weeks. In the next show, I'd really like to do an interview with, the guys that are working on the site and, dig a little deeper on that if we can. But,
that's absolutely great. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you joining us. It's during this thankful season that we want to think specifically about the things that we're thankful for. And being thankful is what makes it all worthwhile, and appreciating what you have. There's no better time in the history of the world to be alive right now. And there's no better place to be alive than in America right now. Yep. And we've doubly won the lottery being here in America and being alive at this time. And I hope that you're thankful for that. I hope that you get to spend some time with some loved ones and friends and family this week. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign us off. And if there is anything else that we want to come to you with this week, we will let you know. But other than that, appreciate you very much and have a great day.